Remember to keep your knees bent for mobility this time. Helps you move faster.
So like this?
And you don't always have to block. Dodging's always an option too.
Oh, that's a lot faster, yeah.
When you're in a real fight, anger can make you do stupid things, so remember to control your breathing.
So what if I was able to piss off my opponent? Would I be able to get him to slip up and make mistakes? You know, kind of like setting him up for failure?
See, that's the point. If you can control your own emotions and get the opponent to lose control of theirs, you've gained control of the fight.
So where'd you learn how to use a sword anyway?
I picked up back in Okinawa during my military days.
When did you go to Japan?
We were stationed over there for a couple years.
That reminds me, what did you do in the military?
Biological engineering.
Biological engineering? That's kind of weird. I always thought you were like a mechanic or something. You mean like genetics?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a lot like genetic engineering.
I always thought those kind of experiments were illegal.
Yeah, back in the year 2000s it was illegal. But around 2020, someone created this virus and the whole world went nuts, and it was just a test that we were running. Besides, if you got the right license, you can practice almost anything in the military. Especially if you got the security clearance.
So what kind of work did you do as a biological engineer?
But mostly medicine. My partner and I were the best in our fields. We practically ran the labs.
What kind of partner? Were y'all like friends or something?
Partner's probably not the word for it. We're more like brothers. He was so good in his field, they used to call him the wizard.
The wizard?
He'd be able to cook up anything. Cures, industrial poisons, pesticides, 100% organic anal lube. One time he even accidentally made liquid syphilis. But then of course you got the biological weapon department, which was my partner's favorite area of study. See, I used to believe back in the day that everything put off its own vibration, its own energy source. You see, Dorian was able to prove that. And that's where things went wrong.
So how come y'all don't talk anymore?
The field of study we were in, the rules are pretty strict. He went a little too far one day and started doing experiments on himself.
What kind of experiments?
He was able to genetically alter his DNA to where he can connect to every source of energy. Pretty scary stuff.
Damn, so he actually turned himself into an actual wizard?
But of course the MPs got wind of it and locked him up. He's probably still sitting in that military prison with them MPs. But unfortunately the side effects kind of twisted his mind a little bit. He wasn't himself anymore. I felt like I lost a brother that day. See, in our field of study, there's just some things you don't do. And this man was brilliant. Went and pushed the laws a little too far.
So you mean like he found a loophole around the laws?
Got himself in trouble. And I guess he kind of just felt a little betrayed that I wouldn't stand by him when I already warned him of the consequences.
Damn, you'd figure with like all the accomplishments he's made, that would have been enough for him. But to sacrifice it all for some personal gain, he was obsessed over.
Well, see, one thing you learn is that when someone gets something they want, it's never enough. And usually that rule applies to people with money or power. You just got to learn to be happy with what you've got. And if you want something, work for it. When you got it, be proud that you got it. Be proud that you worked for it.
Who's that?
He's some kind of Bill Nye the Science Guy ripoff.
Yeah, everything's a ripoff nowadays.
Shoot, you should have seen back in 2018, 2019, everyone was trying to be like Markiplier. Damn, I feel old. That was like 40 years ago.
Never seen him before.
Black-haired Severus Snape-looking motherfucker.
Long jacket wearing Keanu Reeves out of the Matrix looking ass.
Looking like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
I know you hate to talk about it because it brings back bad memories, but I have to know.
Well, it was just like every other night. I mean, we talked and I rolled over, kissed her on the forehead, and said goodnight. I woke up alone.
Why do bad things have to happen to good people?
If I had to choose how she would go, that's how I would want her to go. She slipped away in her sleep, son.
Thank you for telling me.
It's alright. It was so long ago. I figured you needed to know eventually anyway.
I'm gonna go ahead and head off to bed. You want a beer?
Nah, thanks. I don't feel like getting crunk tonight.
Just try not to stay up too late this time.
Have a good night. How the hell did you get out? I'll be ready for you this time, you son of a bitch.
Dad, go to bed.
This doesn't involve you, boy.
I'm feeling pretty involved.